Alright guys, here we go with the latest episode of the 67 Plymouth GTX Angel Mobile build. Okay, here we go. As you can see, this project is almost done. And I just want to give you a couple of my thoughts on this particular build. Let's take a look at the engine compartment. Here you can see I've added a bit of extra detailing. Let's take a look at the battery. I've added a battery hold down to go to the engraved portion of the hold down that is on the battery. The battery itself is wired. We have the ground cable going right down to the engine block. Positive cable going back into the body. And as you've seen before, the spark plugs are all completely wired up. And here I've replaced the kit supplied plastic radiator hose with a real rubber hose to give it a little bit more of a realistic look. Now, one thing that you're going to have to look out for when you're assembling the engine compartment is the washer bottle here, which is interesting in the fact that it's a transparent bottle, which I've painted it with a little bit of transparent blue to simulate the washer fluid. It's supposed to sit flat up against this ridge here of the engine compartment, but if you do that, the hood will not sit flush with the fender. So you're going to have to lay it inboard of that ridge, right in the fender well, as I've done, so that you can get the hood to close completely. Another thing, the heater hoses that you see here won't reach the block if you put them in their normal configuration, the way they come off the tree. In order for them to reach the block itself in the water pump area the way they should, you're going to have to bend them quite a bit so that they'll sit on the block and not here in the radiator, which is where they would normally sit if you installed them without any modification. Now you're going to have to be very careful because they may crack, as these did a little bit right there. So I'm going to have to put a little more paint on there to cover that up. But if you want a realistic appearance of the hoses going to the water pump, then this is what you're going to have to do. Otherwise, they'll be sitting right where the radiator fan is. And that won't look good at all. Other than that, assembling it, the engine compartment wasn't too bad. There were a couple of other minor things. Let's take a look underneath it. The sway bar has to pass underneath the front subframe. When you look at the instructions, the mounting of the sway bar, they don't exactly make it perfectly clear that it's got to pass underneath it. Let's just take a look at that. As they show you the sway bar just mounting on the subframe from there to there, when it would actually have to pass underneath this forward bracket on the subframe. So what you'll have to do is feed it through from one side to the other, and you'll be able to get it to sit properly, and then just glue it right in place. So just a couple of minor hiccups there, nothing major. The kit mostly goes together very well. Here I've replaced the kit supplied wheels and tires with wheels and tires from Fireball models. As I'm replicating the car as it was seen on the show Angel, and this is and they supplied the perfect wheels and tires for it. You can also see that the quarter window is tinted black, just as it is on the show, as all the side windows on the car were blacked out because he is a vampire and the sunlight was not his friend, even though the front windshield has always been completely clear. That's TV logic for you. Here's the interior, completed and installed. One thing you're going to have to look out for when you're assembling this model is that the side is the door cards on the interior, which are separate parts. When you glue them in, this rear edge of the door card is going to want to stick out further past the tub. So you're going to have to glue it down and then hold it there so that it sits inboard on the edge of the interior tub. And right now she's still a work in progress, but it's almost done. Still have the rear bumpers and the front bumpers to install. Have to finish assembling the hood. Here's a quick look at the completed undercarriage. And then there's going to be a bit more polishing and cleaning up. You see the bare metal foil on the windshield header and bare metal foil on the rocker panels, which is the way the car was depicted on the show, with the chrome trim on the windshield header and on the rocker panels, and that's the only place it had the chrome trim. On the show it also had the, let's see if we can get a close-up look, the Belvedere GTX badging on it, but it did not have the Hemi badging on it. So, and that's what I'm replicating here. So if you're asking why it doesn't have the Hemi badges on it, it's because on the show it didn't have them either. Oh, another quick point is that this kit has a lot of parts. Even the front grille and bumper assembly is comprised of 4 parts, which is your front grille, you have a bracket beneath the grille, you have a mounting support for the front bumper, and then the front bumper itself. Now, as you're putting that together, this is, you can have to glue the bumper support to the bottom of the grille assembly and then the bracket to the back. Did you remember to scrape off all the chrome underneath? I use super glue so that it would hold quickly, because it's going to be something you're not going to want to have to hold on to for a while till the glue sets. So I use a quick setting CA glue and just attach it all there. Install the 4 headlights, which surprisingly went in very, very easily. Blacked it out with a little bit of Tamiya panel line paint, and she was good to go. So there you go. She's getting there, and she's almost done. Okay, I'll see you on the next one.